of the WHO, which is called the World Health Organization.
As long as I am president, no one is going to stop you from practicing your faith. We want all children to have the opportunity to know the blessings of God. School prayer is banned, but drag shows are allowed to permeate the whole place. You can't teach the Bible, but you can teach children that men are able to get pregnant.
Welcome back to CHRISTIANA Flourishing, where we motivate you God's word. As you have heard by the man of God, Pastor Chris, saying concerning the W.H.O, and we just confirmed that Donald Trump has actually signed himself out, the United States of America, out of WHO. And these are the things the man of God has been saying for all this while. Let's listen to what Prophet Pastor Chris Oyakhilome has to say and what Donald Trump said. Watch this video, subscribe, like, and share, and we'll see you in our next upload.
What is this one? Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir?
Ooh, that's a big one. So we paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China with 1.4 billion people. We have 350 to pay. We have, nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally, but let's say we have 325. They had 1.4 billion. They were paying 39 million. We were paying 500 million. Seemed a little unfair to me. So that wasn't the reason, but I dropped out. They offered me to come back for 39 million. In theory, it should be less than that, but, you know. And when Biden came back, they came back for 500 million. He knew that you could have come back for 39 million. They wanted us back so badly, so we'll see what happens.
Eugenicists and their ideology a moment ago. And then the guy who was the first Director General of the WHO, which is called the World Health Organization. You'd think it was established for health. Well, we all thought so when we were ignorant. Until we started learning some more and discovered that what their publicly stated goals are very different from their agenda. He stated that the priority of the World Health Organization, the WHO, is, you just heard it. Before this man, it's called Dr. George Brooke Chisholm. That's his name, the first Director General of the WHO. He began working on the idea for the establishment of the WHO from 1945. In 1948, he became the first Director General. A year before then, he stated that the weaponization of biology was important for nations. I'm not quoting him there. It's the substance of what he said. Because he praised the idea of nations weaponizing bacterial, how did they call it? Bacteriology. Can you imagine that? And that is the study and the use of bacteria as weapons of war. So you're dealing, this is before he became the Director General. Yes. Never stopped the idea. And was more of an atheist. Because he condemned religion in its totality. At his old age. So you ask yourself, if that kind of a guy was the one who became the the first Director General of the W.H.O. and worked on its establishment from the beginning. So, what is the W.H.O.? What is it? Let me read to you what I just mentioned to you. Germ warfare, okay? Bacteriological warfare. He told a meeting. Now, this was written in praise of him, just so you understand, okay? But I can elicit certain things from here. Bacteriological warfare, he told a meeting, as quote, a meeting of teachers in Toronto in 1947, promotes any little group of people or any little nation to a degree of proficiency in offensive warfare, which makes it a competitor of any other greater nations. And then he told them it is obsolete now to gauge a nation's war strength by its capacity to produce aluminium, guns, tanks, and so on, end quote. All right? So here's the long article here following his death. This article was written February 5th, 1971, following his death. So we should not be deceived by, when you're told about the United Nations holding a meeting, a general conference, or the World Health Organization holding a meeting. Don't be deceived by their Hegelian dialectical. I know that you might be. Sometimes we listen to them. And they say that they want to help solve problems. Their dialectical interlocutions have nothing to do with problem solving. They don't solve problems. They create them. They create them. I want to read a few verses to you. Just remember, they as part of their deception, they declared war on free speech, a war which they lost before it started.
Hey everyone, I want to talk about something important today, because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms.
Because this is not their time. After we've gone, which will not be by their order, we go when Jesus sounds the trumpet.